All right, hey, what's going on, guys? So I am back again with another live video, and this time we got a couple different repairs to do. I'm gonna try to make these videos as time goes. I'm gonna try to upload more and more. So if you decide to start following the channel, just know that you're probably gonna get a lot of notifications throughout the day for my streams. So today in for repair we have a this is what we have in for repair. I think it's a Nook, paper white ones, and what's wrong with it is the charging port, right? So we're gonna do this one first. The charging port on this is damaged. We'll go ahead, we'll replace it, and then we'll move on to the next repair. So for this one, we're going to try to stay away from using too much heat, and the reason why is because of this plastic that's supposed to be like a light diffuser. I don't want to melt that, so we're going to try to stay away from melting that. It looks like we might have a rib. Yeah, we have a few rib pads here. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Almost all of those pads are ripped. So once we take this off, we have to fix those rib pads. So let's go ahead and let's remove this, and then we'll fix these rib pads. I don't even know where my low found it. About to say I don't know where my low melt is, but found it, no big deal. All right. Like I said, I'm going to stay away from using too much heat, so I'm going to whip out all the techniques, all the stops, all the moves to get this thing done. So we got those ones pretty much out of there. Fume extractor is on. All right, let's go ahead and let's take this port out, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff around that can get melted, and I don't want to melt them. Okay, and there we go. We got that out. All right, so we're gonna run this, and this, or all of them, I guess. So let's go ahead and let's get all of these reconnected. This one should be fine. We're just going to take that from there, this one from here, and this connector from here. And if you guys are wondering, if how do I know what goes where, you can clearly see these traces on this board. So this is not a hard one. Some of the more complicated boards, it will be hard for you to see the traces. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so let's clean up these. that one cleaned up. Those two are clean and ready to go. Just like that. Let's just clean up some more. And I was gonna, actually not was gonna, I was thinking about actually running the jumper wires first, but the reason why I'm not going to do it on here is because these contacts are very easy for me to run a wire to. So I'm not gonna spend the time to run the wire first when I know that it's gonna be a very simple jumper wire run until it's not. You know, when it's not, then I'll worry about it. But for now, it's very straightforward. Very, very straightforward. You don't even need, I'm gonna say you don't even need repair, schematics, and you don't need to know anything about that to do this repair. This is just a straightforward, straight to the point repair. Grab your charging port, put in your port, that's it, done. All right, so let's go ahead and find a port that matches up. And we need 5 pins, that's what it looked like, right? Yep, and I think I found one similar to it. This might not be the exact same one, but it's very similar to it. And it should work. All right, so if I compare it, very similar. Both hooked down. Both 5 pins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins. Yep. And let's put it in place and see what happens. Alright, that's where it goes. And you can see the 5 pin spots. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in a board holder because I need it elevated a little bit more so I can get to this port. If not elevated, I'm not going to be able to work on it. So let's get it up off my desk and high enough that I can get this thing on here and done properly. Here we go. And there we go. And let's look at this thing and see what we got. So there's the pins, and they're looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's start. I'm going to solder the anchor points first. That's what I call these. These are the anchor. And then once we get those down, then everything else from there should be easy. Let's get some solder wire. All right, we're back. We got our solder wire. I'm gonna crank this light down. There we go. Yeah, my resolution on the camera is not that great. That's, you know, one of those things. There we go on that one. There we go. There we go. Just like that. And like I said, I'll get this one down first. Well, I don't know if I said that, but this one I don't need a jumper for. Just need it connected. This one we're going to run a jumper, and these other ones we'll run jumpers for. So I'm just going to make sure that the one that I just touched with the iron is connected. That looks good to me. So let's run jumper wires, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 it looks like. Let's go ahead and just put some solder on these. That one has some solder already. I'm going to change my tip because I want to get in there and get the smallest drop of solder on there. Not even sure if it needs to be connected. I didn't even check. It doesn't look like it does, but whatever. Yeah, so this is ground. That's ground. We'll go further back. We'll go back about here, and then we'll make the connection because I'm too close to that, and it's pulling all the heat. Everything that I'm trying to apply, that's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to pull back a little bit further, and then get some solder in there. Like that. Just like that. Sorry, I heard my door, so I had to get up for a second just to double check. All right, so let's get our wire, our jumper wire. It's not that I don't know, I don't remember what gauge wire it is. I just know that this is my jumper wire. You know, if it is important to you to know what size wire I use for these, go ahead and just leave a comment, and I will try to get back to you about it. You can see that one. Put it right there. That's gonna go right there. There. Let's do the same thing to this one again. Or also. Okay. Second one. Now I'm cutting these a little bit longer because I want to have the ability to move them where I need to. I can always cut them shorter later, but I can't make them longer. So, you know, if you're doing this, make your wire longer. Worry about making it shorter later. You know, that's a and if you want to, you can thin this wire before you get it on the board here. So this is more like, don't do what I do. You know, learn from my mistakes. So if you can, get your wire thinned and maybe solder it on the board first. That way you don't have to do this. or do it like this. You can just kind of make it a little bit easier on yourself. Because what I might end up having to do is actually cut this wire and just attach it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's run these ones first, and then we'll come back around and get anything that we missed. Okay, that's attached. That one is attached also. And I'm gonna move this. I think I'm gonna move this wire a little bit. I don't like the way it's, there we go. I like that a little bit better. And that looks good, right? Think it's gonna go anywhere? Just to make sure. All right, a little bit better. I'm gonna break off this piece right here because it's kind of getting in the way of the wire right next to it, and I don't want that to happen, so might as well break it off. And I probably can use it right here, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. All right. So maybe that is attached to both sides. Let's. Like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be attached like that, so I'm gonna have to redo that in a second here. Let me, like I said, this is a Kindle. I don't know which model of Kindle this is. I mean, I feel like this is connected right here, but I'm not sure if it's connected in the right place, right? I'm not sure. I mean, it runs right here and goes right here. It doesn't look like it goes underneath. So I'm thinking it's a ground, right, coming from here, because I can see all of these. Right, this looks like it goes to the other side of the board, so I don't know where that goes. All right, regardless, let's just clean up and see what we have. You guys can get a better look also, because I mean, this stuff look, you know, right now it doesn't look like much at all. It just looks like a big mess. Okay, let's turn it this way. So it looks like it might be also attached right here. Right there, that's attached, and that's secured on the board. So Yeah, that's going straight to this. That's ground. So we're gonna leave it. We're definitely gonna leave it alone. Just gonna wipe the board down one more time because I think that's good. I don't see why I would need to do more to it. Right, that's good. And we didn't add too much heat to the board either, so I wasn't using my hot air station, which sometimes can be too much, especially for these thin boards. So we should be good. I think it looks good. Let's turn it over to the other side. Let's see. What does the other side look like? And we can fill these holes in a little bit better, right? Especially that one on the end. So let's fill that one in a little bit more. And that should be it for this repair. And there we go. Fill. So this port isn't going anywhere no time soon. There we go. No time soon. And that was the Kindle. I'm not 100% sure if I connect it up, if it's going to display or not. And it looks like it might have a charging light, so let's see if we can get that light to light up for us. We got a charger here. Okay, we got a charger here. Let's see what happens. And there we go, we got a charging light. Can you guys see that? Can you see the little charging light on here? Let me just make sure that you guys can see that. So you see the light blinking? This flashing light right here, that's a charging light, let you know that it's charging. Okay, so that's for that Kindle, right? We got that port in there looking somewhat nice. The right side, I have some problems. I can see the problems that I'm having. It's a little bit, it's not all the way flushed on this side over here. So I'm just gonna press down on it firmly while pressing it down and release. And I'm gonna do the same thing in the back here, release. And then I'm gonna go back up front and I'm gonna do it again and release. One more time in the back. And that way I'm making sure that it's sitting just as flush as the other side. And it's not going to change it much. I just want it to look, you know, decent, proper. Okay, so there we go. So that's finished. Let's put this off to the side. And 1 second, guys. All right, so sorry about that. So let's go move on to the next one. We got a flip phone. Probably definitely. I'm not gonna say probably definitely because that doesn't even make any sense, but let's see if we have the port for this one. And you can see the port right here. It's all types of damage right here. Look at that. It's a good one. So let's see if we can replace this port. and get this thing back on the road. Because if you're in this business, you know how much people love their flip phone. I mean, I've never seen, been doing this for 9 years, and this is probably the first year I've heard so many customers coming in asking for a flip phone. As they're going out, every customer now wants a flip phone. They want to get rid of their smartphone, and they just want a basic phone. It's almost like moving backwards, but it's just, I understand those customers. Especially if they're older. I totally get it. That technology and everything else that comes with it can be, overwhelming sometimes. Okay, so this is not coming apart as easy as I expected it to. There we go. We got to open up a little bit. I'm trying my best not to walk out of here with a slice on my finger today. It's an everyday thing. Light went out. One of my lights actually just went out. Not the power, but yeah, gone. All right, so let's turn on another light. It's a little bit better. Still one light out. Okay. A lot of little buttons here. I don't want to lose them. So let's get a container. Yeah, a lot of little pieces. And you know what? I probably end this stream, because if not, it's not gonna get the views that it should, because it's just too long. Nobody really wants to sit down and watch a video. 30 minutes almost. Yeah. You guys are not gonna watch this whole 30-minute video, so I don't wanna do that to myself. Something just fell. Oh, all right, got it. All right, so let's look at what we have to deal with. And I'm almost positive I do not have this. And the reason why is this is probably a very specific port for this phone. I think it's actually shorter than the regular ports. Yeah, I think it's actually shorter than a regular port, and it's 17 pins. So I don't think I have this, but let's see what we have as far as charging port goes. Maybe one of those. And you will see the ports that I pick out. I'm just kind of going through them right now. Can't really see that because my light is out. Nope. Nope. I don't think so. Maybe that. All right, so don't really want to take this thing apart because I just have a feeling that you don't know, but I have a feeling that this port, right, has to be this exact same one, and if I even try to remove it or replace it with a different one, it's just going to be problems. But nevertheless, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens here. It has this plastic over it. Can I remove the plastic? Gotta watch that. Yeah, so the plastic is right there. Okay, so the plastic is actually so the charging port is part of the plastic. Okay, that's what I'm realizing now. So let's see what happens when we remove it. Let's see how far we get with this thing before we have to say forget it, because it ain't gonna go nowhere. Like that. Now if we replace it, it will no longer be waterproof because we're removing this port and replacing it with a different one that's not the same kind. That one was waterproof or water resistance or whatever title they want to stick on it. That's what it is. But I do not have that port, so let's clean up again and put one of these ports in that we have, and then we'll test it. Another thing I'm going to mention, and this is what I've learned from making some of probably the worst repair mistakes, is this. When replacing charging ports, whatever direction these ports are facing, usually you see how this one, the curve is to the bottom, the top is straight. Whatever port you replace it with has to have that. Okay, so it has to have the curve at the bottom, like this one. So if you notice, side by side comparison, let's get my tweezer. So this one it doesn't have the right pin configuration, but nevertheless, see the curve is at the bottom, not at the top, right? Get this one. Maybe we can use this one. Curve at the bottom, straight on top. We got these two wide pins right here, which is used as an anchor. Right, this kind of same formation that we see here. We have the curve at the bottom, these two big pins as an anchor. And let's just try to see what happens when we lay it on the board. Let's just see how it looks. And that looks like it might be a go. Right, so we can yeah, I think we can make it work. I think we can make it work. Let's see how we're gonna make this work. So first thing what I'm gonna do is, and this is just me, I'm gonna bend either bend or cut these pins out of the way. The two anchor pins that this port has. Yeah, I'm just gonna bend them out of the way for now. Okay, so they're out of the way, and I would just use some glue to probably just secure those. Right, and then these will sit like, nope. 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 So this is not going to work either because the pins are too close together. So let's see what else we have. And this and this. This goes where? These go nowhere. So these are ground. Right, ground. Looks like data. Power, and maybe an NC. So maybe we don't need all of those pins to make this thing work. And this is what I was mentioning before. See, this curve is at the top. If I try to install this port, it might work, it might not. I think I've only done one incorrectly that worked. Alright, so let's try this one. Let's see how it lines up. Okay, that's the first thing. And like that, right? Yeah, I think this is gonna work. I think. Yeah. If this was a little bit shorter, those holes would have been perfect. But it's okay. Regardless, No, because we have the curve at the top on this one still, see? Again. So that's not going to work either. And now I'm pushing it to about 40 minutes. Which I know in YouTube world, nobody's going to watch. After 15 minutes, it's done. It's probably going to be some slick guy with a comment like, oh yeah, it's because you did a terrible job. And you might be right, but nevertheless, I get the job done. And if you get it done too, good for you. Okay, I think I'm going to tape this thing down because it's moving way too much for me. I need to get this job done, like ASAP. So I'm going to tape it to my workbench and then start working on it. This feels a little bit easier. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing what's going on here. Ouch, it's hot. Yeah, I'm not even getting this thing to touch. Okay. It has some pins on the bottom of it. Let's modify those a little bit. Okay, we knock them off. Now let's see if these actually nope. Okay. Good, let's turn this so we can see what's going on. And what's going on back here is not right. Ah. Yeah, this ain't going as planned. Yeah, this little board, I mean, it's heating up, really, really fast. So I have that to deal with while I'm trying to place this thing down. Which I'm gonna probably after this put some super glue on it or something. Because if not, I don't think this thing would hold up to too many plug in and out. Because it has pretty much nothing to hold it on here. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. If I want this thing to get a warranty and not come back for a long time for a warranty repair. Which would be pretty much me doing this exact same thing again. Okay. And to me, that looks great. This is not the exact port for it, but it looks good. So I'm going to clean it up, right? Get it pretty clean. We're getting this thing pretty clean. And then we'll just drop some super glue, right? You know what? I'm just gonna let it sit for a little bit of time because I think this. Listen, this is what I think will happen um if I try to put super glue on it right now. There's probably flux in between here, and the only thing that's gonna do. Wait a minute. So I can drop. Hold on. Oh, I can do that too. So this is what I was thinking. If I try to super glue it, right? Let's see if we can get this thing to fill up this hole. This should be a good, holder also. If I try to glue it right now, because there's still flux on it, I don't think the glue is gonna hold. It's gonna hold well right now. I just think it'll be just a lot of problems. So instead of having to deal with that, I'm just gonna leave it for now. That's not working either. So yeah, let's just call it finished for now. I'm just gonna let this sit for a little bit before I work on it again, because I don't want to glue it and then the super glue doesn't hold because of all the flux. I'd rather let the flux get tacky and then put some super glue on it, right? So we'll drop that in the bucket and we'll call that done. Actually, since we're on YouTube, and since I want people to realize that this is really, it can really be fixed like this, I want to just show. Let's see if we can get a charging screen or anything. We don't have a battery in it, but we do have our how can I show this? I have a voltage meter down here it's pretty much telling me this thing is charging. So, and I trust this meter. Wow, because I've used it several times. And this thing literally almost just ripped apart. It bent. I mean, pretty bad. Scared me, but it's still holding, which is a good sign. So we're gonna put it in there for now, and we're gonna move on to the next thing, because like I said, I can't check it because I don't have a battery for it, but I do know that it works. All right, so I'm not gonna keep recording, guys. That's it. I thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like the video, talk bad about the video, do whatever you'd like to. This is really for you guys to learn from my mistakes, because I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm still making them as far as repair goes. But there's something for you guys to learn. You know, learn from other people's mistakes, and that way you don't make the same one. And if you do, you know how to correct it, because you've seen somebody else make the same mistake, and even though you're repeating it, you know how to fix it. So nevertheless,